Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video from the new Byte. My name is Dan, or DJH321. I'm here with...
How's this? Yeah.
Hey! And we're going to talk to you today a little bit about the Epic Games Store controversy, problem, thing that's happening. Give us a bit of background on it, House. Give us a little bit of some meat to go with our potatoes.
The veggie meat, you mean? So I was suggesting to do this topic today because I was seeing very interesting notion of Epic Games Store not only buying in like lots of exclusivity from game developers. They say, hey, if you bring the game to our store, you get lots of benefits in terms of you get more money for basically every sale, which is like gold, of course, for marketing and sales units of these divisions. And on the same side, the players are being plagued with, what the Epic Games Store features, or rather not features. And it's quite interesting to see how you're standing on it, how I'm standing on it, and see where we're moving. Because right now, the big thing is they're buying lots of exclusive games, even sequels, of course. Mm-hmm. And people are frustrated for both that they sort of see a split from where they can play the games instead of just having it all on Steam. Like, for example, Borderlands 3, which will be Epic Store exclusive for half a year. They can't get it for at least 6 months. Have 1, 2, and maybe the pre-sequel on Steam, then have to get Borderlands 3 on the Epic Games Store if they want to start right with the release, which after the time that they've been waiting, of course, is very understandable. They don't want to wait another half a year just so they can have all 3 games on Steam, And the interesting thing is mostly that they complain mostly about features that are missing. And I'm having the roadmap open right now. So how about we start and just look at what is currently missing at the Epic Games Store, because what's coming soon within the next year or so is just quite fascinating to me.
So, for example, I'm currently looking at WCCFtech.com, and in their April, which is this month, they are planning to put in search by genre and tag. How has that not already been a thing? I don't fully understand.
Yeah.
That kind of seems like if you're going to have a platform which has a lot of games on it or a lot of things to search through, then you'd want to tie things down, like by DLC or by specific game or something. What else they got? Improvements to offline mode. Okay, that's something I can understand as being like a first. You've just put this out, like an offline mode's not a priority, so I can understand that. Installer under the hood overhaul, another thing that's just kind of sounds like general patching.
Yeah,
the system
we did some patching here and there.
Yeah,
video store hosting. Why are they hosting videos?
From what if I'm taking store as in instead of like putting something away and more as in the homepage store, so like where you can buy things.
Yeah, I was thinking as a shop basically. You can shop videos like.
So either you can. To me, that sounds one of two things. You can either like buy movies and stuff, which you kind of can do on Steam, but not really.
Well, they actually neglected that feature a few weeks ago, where they said actually we're gonna stop doing that. So they focused again on games and maybe PCs.
Yeah, so it's either that one, or it's having like trailers and things of games or gameplay videos up in their store so that you can see it, which I think would be kind of cool.
That's probably the most reasonable thing.
So
yeah, you just go on the a game page and see, this is the latest trailer for that game. Yeah, definitely seems like to be like that. Store page redesign is just a design thing. Improved DLC support. Here's the most interesting thing that's coming. Apparently target of April, so could be out by the time that this releases. Improved DLC support, multi-SKU. What does that actually mean? And for people who don't know that online marketing term where it's about online shops and everything, multi-SKU just basically means you can buy more than a single product at a time, which right now is the most frustrating thing if you want to start with the Epic Games Store. They don't have that many games yet, but hey, every now and then they give away a free game, just for having an account there, which is very nice. I don't need to pay, like, for example, PlayStation Plus or Live with Gold, Xbox Live Gold, where I need to pay first and then get every month a game. They just do that on their own, have promotions going on that. Basically, of course, brings users over to the game store. And I already had an Epic Game Store account back when Unreal Tournament the sort of re-release started to be in production, which they sadly cancelled recently because I think Fortnite was just too good for them, of course. They'd rather have devs working on Fortnite instead of like something Unreal Tournament, which not really many people played even that back then. And yeah, so you go in, you can always go just one game, I want to have that, and then you directly go into the processing of the of your purchase, and you can't continue with that. Multi-SKU basically means you can at least buy one or two things at once in one go. So if you say, hey, I want to have the game and its DLCs on top of that, that is basically what it means. So if you look a little bit to the right, the long-term goal, here's the thing, only in the 6 months or later period, there's actually the shopping cart feature coming. So you can actually have more than one game in there. That's nuts.
That seems to me, if I was going to put out a platform that sold games or just kind of sold anything, I'd want to instigate a shopping cart thing where people can go, okay, I want to buy this thing and I want to go looking to buy other stuff instead of putting in all their details, hitting pay, clicking yes to accepting the terms and conditions of buying something online, all that kind of stuff. So how is that over 6 months away? That's ridiculous.
And I've been working on a shop solution recently with a few colleagues of mine. And the thing to enable that there's more than one product that can be bought at the same time is not difficult in a web environment. And the Epic Games Store launcher basically is just a website that is bundled in basically like in an app. You know, if you look at Discord, for example, I think this is the most easy thing to understand. You can open Discord on their website, log in there, and have basically your whole server environment there, or you download the Discord app, which is the same thing as the web version, but it has one or two more things that are integrated into the OS, like Windows, of course, so support on that level is better. But in the end, you're still browsing a website inside of an app, and you can very much easily see that if you're on Discord, just hit Control-R or Command-R on the Mac system, and it will basically just reload the page. It does that in the Discord app. So how they are not able to do that basic functionality of buying two games at once with a shopping cart solution, that is just, wow, it's crazy. And I think that's stemming from the fact that actually Epic, with its game store, was growing so big and so fast, they were just not prepared for that.
Yeah. I think whoever put all this stuff together at Epic Games or kind of convinced them to create this or make it more of a thing now really needed to step back and go, okay, let's design all of the stuff first, get it prototype first, and then put it out, rather than just go, oh, this is happening and we're doing it on the fly. Because, admittedly, in getting your audience engaged with kind of like an ever-growing service is okay.
Sure.
But it's not helpful in this case. Like, there's no kind of it's more detrimental than it is than it is helpful, because I don't think anybody that I can think of would say it right in now in its current state is a contender to Steam. The only thing that's keeping it as a contender is its quote-unquote exclusives.
Yeah, because they have the money. Epic has the money to just buy in. And of course, they also have the advantage to offer a good deal for the developers and publishers, where they say, instead of, 33% that Steam is taking, they only take, I think, 12? I'm not entirely sure.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was a very small margin.
On 18% increase on every sale over Steam.
Yeah, that's huge. If you take that money, it's just insane for the people that work on games and that sell these games, of course. They want that extra money because they didn't need to change anything. They're just delivering to a different server, basically, which then takes over the job of selling the game for them. They just make money for free, basically, just by deciding to go with Epic Games Store. And yeah, it's just insane. I can understand, for example, they save target for May cloud saves. I can understand that because cloud saves are very complicated sometimes. It's not just a single file where it says, actually, oh, this is where you are in the game. This is sometimes more complex. I can sort of understand why this is a thing. Then we continue on. There's no solution for user reviews. There's not even a review function inside of the game, you know, the Epic Games Store, which is basically just a way to say, hey, here's a user that already has an account, that has a display name, and he just wants to put in some text to a game to attach to it, like a comment function.
Yeah, it really makes no sense because um, having reviews, I can understand, would be a big problem sometimes because of, for example, you allow users to create reviews straight away. And then every user decides, okay, I'm just going to either muck about and put something silly on there, or they put something offensive, and then that goes back on Epic Games. But I think, again, this all stems back to they've jumped into this without really either thinking about it too much or just kind of being prepared in any kind of way, which I feel is going to, in the long run, make it more detrimental than it is anything else.
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to see how they actually time these things, because a large portion of them are basic features that we see already, of course, on other stores. Like even in games overlay function, we have a view play. Voice chat, of course, is working in there and everything. Achievements is going after 6 months, but let's just step back a little bit. We have currently the beginning of April. And like the next biggest release that is coming, at least for now, to the Epic Games Store is Borderlands on September 13th.
Yeah.
So that's still like 5 months to go. Until then, lots of these basic features could be and hopefully should be implemented already. Hopefully. So at least hopefully by the time Borderlands 3 releases, there we'll have lots more features inside of that store.
Yeah, I definitely.
But for now.
Yeah, I definitely feel with everybody either not complaining, but just kind of everybody having this annoyance over Epic Games taking all of the exclusives or being able to have more of not a control over the market, but just kind of they're stepping into this. Why are they stepping into this? They're a company should be allowed to do these kind of things because they've done stuff with Fortnite before. That's been such a big game. Why shouldn't they step into something and develop either more stuff or work on doing more stuff for the gaming community as a whole and the industry? But I definitely think that they should have waited a bit longer to either implement this or think about it. Think about it in more of a critical sense than what they have done, because they seem to have just rushed into everything. I've said it a few times, but I'm just going to keep on saying it because it feels super, super rushed.
Yeah. Just thinking back what Epic Games Store was actually. It was just the Epic Games launcher, where they had the few things that were exclusive to the game. Of course, then the Unreal Engine was bundled with that. You could get it for free and start for free to just download it and start making the game with that. Sure enough. And I think there was also an asset shop linked to that.
Yeah.
Additionally to that, we have, of course, Unreal Tournament, which we already talked about, and then later on also Fortnite, of course, which is now the basis, of course, for every platform, because they already have the system where you can download updates through Fortnite instead of directly through the different OSs. Like, you don't have to download an update via the Play Store on an Android phone. You don't have to go through the App Store on iOS. It's just all inside of the game, where the launcher basically provides the code that needs to be updated and downloaded. And at least that delivery seems to be working. It's not like, for example, with the Bethesda games launcher, which is this whole different thing, you know, with Fallout 76, where people were playing the beta and they couldn't uninstall it until they bought the game, which most likely they didn't want to because they were trying the demo and seeing how what was not a good experience mostly.
Yeah. I think my favorite part was when they were tweeting out, please don't play our game because all of your files will be deleted, which really made me question what they were doing.
That was insane.
I think what they had a very from personal experience of using the Epic Games launcher to play their old MOBA, which I can't remember what the name of it was, that they tanked a while ago. Really fun MOBA, and I enjoyed the kind of art style and everything. I think it was made in Unreal as well.
Paragon, was it?
Paragons, that was it.
Yeah,
I love that game. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. But so with that, I thought it was the Epic Games launcher was a good launcher, but taking the launcher and building a store out of the launcher seems just too. What? Start again. Just start again. Just discontinue the launcher and start again with the store. It's
really
use
weird.
it as a stepping stone, but don't shoehorn a store into it.
What's interesting is actually that we have also an article on Kotaku, which also lines out, okay, it's not only things that are missing or coming soon, at least in the Epic Games Store, there's things that are definitely left behind with Steam, like, for example, Steam trading cards, which are a way for people in like countries where money is just a whole different thing, where games cost a lot, where the Steam trading cards actually can be sort of harvested to afford at least smaller games, for more reasonable price, because they can be used to stock up your funding a little bit. But over time, it will be worth it, apparently.
Sure. I don't have much to say on that one.
It's just interesting to see how important Steam has become over recent times. I remember halfway how also, of course, Half-Life 2 was the one reason why people had to go and install a launcher now, which was then called Steam, which you know it has, of course, right now as well. And they were also not very fond of it because they had their CDs where the game was on. They just wanted to start it, put it in, and just launch it. They don't want to have a program in the middle where they have to, update that as well and check out updates for that. But over time, they got used to it, of course, to see like, okay, and they can use this for good advantage. And they added the store to that. And there was mods that they could also download with that. It was just featured in this one app, basically, that was forced on them first, but then they got used to it. Now we're in a different situation. We actually have lots of launches right now. Just looking over my sidebar here, we have the Battle.net launcher, Origin, Steam, GOG, Uplay, Bethesda, Epic Games Store. I think even Tiny Build has its own launcher now. I'm counting 8 at least. And it's just getting more. Tencent is bringing over its Wii game launcher from China over to the West. So there's a 9th one. And I guess it's not the last one that we're going to see.
No, it's definitely not. And there are so many launches now. Personally, I'd say it's getting a little bit crowded with how many launches there are. But I think one of the big things that a lot of people complain about is, we have to download another launcher to be able to play this game. And while I say yes, that can be a bit of a pain in the butt, I wouldn't say it's a big factor for a lot of people. For some people, I could definitely see it being like either a big problem or something that needs to be, that they don't like or needs to be addressed. But I definitely think that with having yet another launcher, it's I don't really see the logic. That's where I'm kind of like the big thing I'm taking it. Like, yes, Steam has the biggest marketplace and everything, but everybody else has their own, and it doesn't stop them. It doesn't stop people from buying their games and playing it through their launcher. Like, I'd never heard of anybody going, "Oh, I will only play like Assassin's Creed on the Uplay launcher. I'd never buy it on Steam." I know people who have it because they have it on Steam.
The good thing, at least, is in Steam, you can always add external games. And when you launch them from Steam, you have to log in, of course, in the respective launcher, but you always have the Steam overlay with it, which some people really need because they have their friends on there. They want to chat to them and don't want to switch back and forth between apps and games. They just want to have that one overlay, which they got used to. I can see that. At least, we know already Ubisoft is planning to do more with the Epic Games Store. And, of course, one game that we haven't mentioned yet is Anno 1800, which has its open beta this week, and actually want to see. And you can preload it right now already when it launches then the open beta phase from April 11th to April 14th. Neat. I almost forgot about that one. But there's so many more things that are probably also coming over to that. And at least with Ubisoft, I can say, well, there's always still Uplay. They work well for that. They also lack a lot of features, but it's not getting that much hate because they just went in and started their own launcher. Because I think there's also a different thing. If a publisher says, okay, we're going to do our own launcher and bundle every game that we release from there, then at least not made exclusive, They will always releasing over on Steam mostly, and only Origin also did that, where they had Battlefield, I think, starting with 3, they were tying that only to Origin, and now they had at least to run Steam and Origin all the time.
Yeah.
Completely different, right? There's no reviews on there as well. No trading cards. So I don't get it right now.
Yeah, I would actually not be surprised if somebody comes along and creates a launcher for launchers, if that
There's
makes
already
sense.
one. I installed it and tried it out. And it's basically working just like Steam, so that's why I was thinking, I guess it's not that much different. Because again, it also bundles every game that you have, and like you can install a simple a simple icon on your desktop where it just says, I want to launch this game, and then it launches the launcher and then launches the game usually.
Yeah.
And the same principle also works with the launcher of launchers.
Yeah, because one thing I've found as well is Discord does that as well.
Yeah.
If you
there's a Discord store. Discord is also a gaming store
Discord
now.
Store.
There's a 10th one. Oh my god,
we've glossed over all of this. But yeah, with the Discord, with Discord itself, its launcher. Its desktop launcher will allow you to just install a game. If you've played it at least once, it will find out where its location is and allow you to launch it from Discord, which I think is really cool personally. I don't see any problems with that. And with Discord having a store, admittedly, I'm not kind of like overly... I wouldn't buy anything on the Discord store, but I wouldn't count myself out.
Twitch also is a game launcher. Remember that? Twitch also has a Discord feature, so you can watch Twitch streams and you can play games there.
How many of these are we missing now? Like,
oh no, I'm just noticing over time. Like, there's even more and more where people just have an app where you can buy games and start them from there.
Because I shouldn't forget about it as well, because I have Twitch Prime or Twitch whatever it is called, because I've got Amazon Prime, and I have probably over 40 or 50 games.
Yeah, just waiting on there.
On my Twitch library, just because I haven't played them, and I've just gone, I'll play that at some point.
Yeah, I'm a hoarder of games. I just admit that whenever there's a free game that I can just snag because I have, then right.
Say no to that.
I always think like, oh, maybe in, I don't know, 20 years, there will be situations, whatever. I think like, oh, this is a secret of a game that I really, really like. Maybe somewhere in one of my launchers, there's the original release that I want to also compare that to. So it's like, you better be safe and sorry.
Yeah, and there's no kind of, in my opinion, there's no kind of downside to all of these launchers. There's, because like, especially for something like Discord and Twitch, I use them for other things. So it's, in my personal opinion, I would say it's not as bad as having something like the Epic Game, because the Epic Games Store is a specific store for store purposes. There's no kind of there's no other reason for it. Whereas something like Discord or
here's the thing that I just saw. Sorry to interrupt, but Snapchat is also launching its own gaming platform. You know.
Oh my gosh! Okay, shoot me now and be done with it. But like, with Discord and Twitch, I'm using like both of those right now, and I don't mind that they have game stores and things built into them. That is fine. It doesn't really bother me that much. But also the game store, the Epic Game Store, doesn't bother me that much either. But I think that people would be more into it if it had another aspect to it that set it apart from its other competitors. Like, for example, they host their own tournaments that you can do on that. That would be a good way to kind of set it apart from Steam, because I don't think Steam has built-in tournament support. So,
I mean, of course, we always have to remember that the people that complain about that aren't that many. There are a couple of thousands, maybe. There are hundreds of thousands of people that are using video games and launches and everywhere, and they don't say a thing. I was just correcting back. It was actually 12% is the cut that Epic takes versus Steam's 30%, not 33%. Right. Yeah, so just so we got it clear. And
hang on, if I get my maths correct, 12%. No, it's not 18%. On
18% points. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still like almost 20% points. We need to calculate that. I can't do them right now.
There will be a graph on the screen.
This is still a very large, portion that they just get basically for free from the sale of a single game.
Yeah,
which is worth a lot. So I get that people want to go over there.
Oh, definitely.
And Steam actually, you know, is one last thing before we end this. This will probably like a 30-minute video, but whatever. Yeah. There's one last thing. People that are actually complaining about that, they can't do that on the Epic Games Store right now because there are no reviews, and they can't, what they like to do, they can't review bomb the current, like the ongoing game, like Borderlands 3, for example, where they would, you know, vocalize their frustrations over the exclusivity. So they go actually back to Steam and review bomb the previous titles. And I'm very happy. There's just put it out that actually Valve is doing at least something about that. Not only did they implement where there's not only an overall review tendency where they say this game is rated overall very well. There's also like in recent times, like within the last month, they have a second accumulation of all the reviews when they say, oh, people like it or don't like it, to, you know, make it clear, hey, maybe for the longest time the game was received very well, but then they had an update which was very bad, or vice versa, you know. And with review bombing, of course, this whole thing gets tilted to a very negative point. At least now they have actually people, moderators that look into that, and if they see, okay, there's lots of reviews coming in which basically don't have anything to do with the game, but more about their surrounding nature, they can mark these reviews on Steam as off topic, and they don't count anymore into these accumulations.
Yeah, because I was literally just about to say, because after 2 days after the review bombing began on most of Borderlands' games, Valve, the new anti-bomb review system kicked in and allowed them to flag it as off-topic reviews, and they would not negatively affect or positively affect the percentages of the games, which I personally like, because I really feel that a lot of games, if like a publisher says something wrong or bad or gets does something that a lot of players don't like, it will put off future players from playing it because they'll see, oh, Borderlands, the pre-sequel, is 30% on Steam. That must mean it's a crap game. It's not a crap game. It's actually a lot of fun. But because of this one small incident that I see as a small incident, whereas some people see as a big incident, they got review bombed the heck out of, and it's negatively affect their game and anybody who ever wants to play it again.
Yeah, that's really weird.
I think that this is a good thing, which, while still allowing people to vent their frustrations, because you can still see those reviews and you still see them, but they don't affect the score, which I personally like. I think is a good thing.
I personally don't see why review bombing is a thing. I don't know. It's just people just want to put out their frustrations somewhere and want to mark it so people can see publicly. It's like if they go out, actually buy Rotten Tomatoes and throw them against the house where the publisher is living, to say like, oh, I hate you, you did the wrong decision, take my Rotten Tomatoes. Something like that. I don't know. Why are people doing this? The thing that people always forget is vote with your wallets. If you don't want to get it on the thing that you only can get it, you know, just don't get it there.
Yeah.
But this is not a call to pirate games. I don't want to endorse pirating games, okay? Just put it out. That's the other way. Don't do that as well.
Don't do that. Definitely don't do that.
If you really mean it, like for example, Borderlands 3, if you really mean it and are against Epic Games Store, you wait the half a year and get it on Steam then. It's frustrating, I know, but if you want to vote like that, you have to do it.
And also, as bad as it is, with Borderlands 3 coming out half a year later on Steam, technically that means it's better for people who buy it on Steam, because they get 6 months of
development and updates,
and patches, and making sure that the game is perfect and runs smoothly, and a bunch of DLC that's probably going to come out.
Yeah.
So there's no in the long run, there's no downsides. But in the beginning, when people want to play the game, they can't play the game, which sucks.
There's only one more thing that I think is, of course, negative. What if you can't play with friends that have it, for example, on Epic Games Store, but you want to stay on Steam? I can see would suck.
I would not be surprised, and that would be really sad.
Which is why I'm really glad that at least, you know, Microsoft, with the Halo Master Chief Collection, they said if you get it on Windows 10 because they have Game Pass on PC, it's no problem. You can still play with the people that just went in on Steam with the Halo Master Chief Collection. But we're hitting the half an hour mark, so let's just cut it off here. In the long run, it's going to be very interesting. The industry is being shaken up. Competition makes the market better, but right now, Epic is basically just using their huge money, which is very capitalistic, and some people are against it. I guess that makes sense. But in the end, once Epic is there, so it has actually good features compared to Steam, and can even improve it beyond that. then we'll actually see very interesting movements in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
For now, it's just like the big kid with the money goes in and buys everything, but he doesn't have anything else. He doesn't have any personality. So that's good. That's probably just summarizing it all. It's summarizing the half hour that we just did. All right. I guess with that, we just close the discussion. Thanks so much for watching. Dan, do you want to take us out of the video?
All right, I'll take us out of the video. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. We hope you have enjoyed the topic. If you have, let us know below. And if you haven't, still let us know below. We'd like to know your thoughts, opinions, and feelings. So, I've been Dan. You can find me on DJH331 anywhere, everywhere. Look me up. I'd definitely like to play. House, where can people find you?
They can find me as HAU5 Test, House Test, everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want. Excellent. And of course, they can also find us on the new Byte. Where is that, Dan?
So that is thenewbyte.com.
Right. Also, a reminder, we have a giveaway running right now for Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered on the Xbox One. It's a physical copy of the game that you can win for free. Check out the link in the description down below, or go on thenewbyte.com, where the very first link that you see on top is a little ticker where you can see, oh, this is the post where you see the giveaway.
Yes, and as of today, which is April 10th, you have another 15 days to get in on it. So go and do that now. Go and do it right now. Just do all the stuff.
Cool. And with that, we say thank you and goodbye. Have a nice day and talk to you soon.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.